angina pectoris. Coming to the definition, angina pectoris is nothing but a chest pain or discomfort, and it will mainly occur when the muscle does not get enough blood. And the angina pectoris is chest pain resulting from myocardial ischemia. Ischemia is there will be a diminished blood supply to the myocardium. Let's see the types of angina. First one is stable angina, second unstable angina, third one is variant angina, nocturnal angina, angina decubitus, intractable angina, and finally post-infection angina. So stable angina is here nothing but there will be a symptoms occurs during moderate physical activity and it will be disappear by itself. And in unstable angina, the patient even at the time of taking rest, the patient will be feeling pain. And in case of variant angina, it occurs mainly due to the coronary artery spasm, and as a result of the spasm, there will be a sudden constriction of coronary artery due to diminished blood supply. As a result, it occurs variant angina. And nocturnal angina, it will be the angina, the chest pain will be occurring only at night time. And the angina decubitus, it occurs at night and whenever the patient is lying in a recumbent position. And coming to the intractable angina, here the patient will be continue to suffer and from recurrent restricting angina even at the time of taking medications. Even whenever the patient is on medication, also the patient will be feeling the pain. That is the intractable angina. And finally, post-infection angina, here there will be an ischemic chest pain occurs at rest or even during minimal activity, and this chest pain will be last for 24 hours. So coming to the etiology. Etiology, that factors that decrease blood supply, that is coronary vessel disorder. Coronary vessel disorder, mainly that atherosclerosis, arterial spasm, these all the things caused due to the accumulation of plaque or the fat deposition in the coronary arteries. As a result, there will be a diminished blood supply. And the coronary arteritis is nothing but due to the necrosis. So, if there is a diminished blood supply in the particular artery due to the formation of plaque, the cells will be causing the necrosis due to the cut off blood supply to the particular area. And the circulatory disorders, hypertension, the patient having decreased blood supply, and aortic stenosis, that stenosed blood vessels. And aortic insufficiency, that is also we will call it as regurgitation, that is a backflow of blood. So there will be a backflow of blood from the aorta to the left ventricle. And blood disorders, anemia, that the patient those are having a diminished hemoglobin level, and hypoxemia, that is decreased oxygen level in the blood. And the polycythemia is a condition such some patients will be having an increased hemoglobin level in the blood. And the certain factors that increase oxygen demand, that is increased cardiac output, that is at the time of exercise, whenever the patient is having any stress or emotion, and even after taking a large meal, it will take long time for digestion. And increased myocardial need for oxygen, that is due to damaged myocardium. Myocardium is damaged due to continuous diminished blood supply to the myocardium. As a result, the myocardium is damaged. And even myocardial hypertrophy. Hypertrophy is nothing but enlargement of myocardium. Coming to the clinical features, first the patient will be having a chest pain, and the chest pain along with that the patient may have heaviness in the chest, tightness, aching and fullness or burning of the chest, mainly at the area of epigastrium, and it may be radiating to arm or forearm, and mainly in the left side. And characteristics of angina includes onset, it will develop quickly or slowly, and the location is slightly to the left of sternum, and where it will radiate, left shoulder and upper, and may then travel down the inner aspect of the left arm to the elbow, and it may radiate to wrist, fourth and fifth fingers, and it radiates to right shoulder, neck, jaw, and finally epigastric region. Duration, it lasts for less than 5 minutes, and the sensation mainly patient will be feeling it's a squeezing pain, burning pain, and it's pressing, choking, aching pain, feels like a gas and hot burn. So some of the patients may find it difficult to differentiate whether it's an anginal pain or normal gastric pain. And the severity usually start from mild to moderate, and the treatment, client will be treated with a nitroglycerin that will be given sublingual as an emergency management. And most of the patients, the angina will be subside after sublingual nitroglycerin. Diagnostic measures. So diagnostic measures, history collection, we will do the history collection, and physical examination. So we will assess the heart, and ECG, that is electrocardiography, that here we will assess the ECG changes, and laboratory studies, that is serum cardiac biomarkers. Here mainly we will be look for CPK, CKMB, troponin I, and myoglobin. And CPK, it should be normally is less than 200, and CKMB, it's normally is less than 25. And hemoglobin level also should check. And serum chemistry, in serum chemistry mainly we will look for electrolytes and blood urea nitrogen. And we should take a fasting lipid profile, and just radiography. Radiography, we will be taking an X-ray, and radioisotopy matching. Radioisotopy matching is nothing but it's a technique which is used to visualize parts of the body by injecting a small dye of the radioactive chemical that it will be injected into the body. And angiography is nothing but it's a small catheter, diagnostic catheter will be inserted through the coronary arteries in order to visualize the function of the coronary arteries by injecting a dye. And exercise testing is nothing but a treadmill testing. Coming to the management, A, B, C, D, it's classified. A for aspirin and anti-anginal therapy, and B, we will supply beta blocker and blood pressure control medicines, and C, we should ask the patient to cessate the cigarettes and minimize the cholesterol, and D for diet and manage diabetes, and E for education and exercise. Pharmacological management. Pharmacological management, we will start with opioid analgesic. The drug of choice, we can give tramadol and morphine. Then antiplatelet agents, mainly doctors prescribe tab aspirin and tab clopidogrel, both of the things available at 75 mg. Then coming to the beta adrenergic blocking agents, we can give both epinephrine and norepinephrine. And vasodilators like drug of choice hydrolazine, 10 to 40 mg we can give, or even hydroproside sodium. Then finally calcium channel blockers, we can give tab amlodipine, felodipine, and verapamil. Then cardiac catheterization. So cardiac catheterization mainly it's a procedure allows to visualize blood supply to the heart. Here we will be inserting a catheter into the blood vessels in order to visualize the thing. And revascularization is nothing but it's a bypass surgery or angioplasty. We will be placing the stent, or we will be using the balloon angioplasty in order to dilate the blood vessels in order to smoothing of the blood supply to the myocardium. And nutritional management, mainly we will ask the patient to diminize the cholesterol intake, and we can encourage the patient to eat plenty of fruits, vegetables, and whole grains. And finally rehabilitation, mainly we can insist the patient to do regular walking, and we can encourage them to do aerobic exercise, muscle strengthening exercise, and flexibility exercise. And we can also add some of the things in rehabilitation process, that is smoking cessation, lipid lowering, control of hypertension, and it has diabetes mellitus management, and weight management and nutritional counseling, psychosocial management, activity management, that is at least the patient has to do that exercise, mainly walking, for at least 30 minutes a day. And coming to the nursing management. Anxiety related to diagnosis of cardiac disorder as evidenced by restlessness, tachycardia, and frequently asking questions regarding prognosis. Second, acute chest pain related to decreased blood supply to myocardium as evidenced by distraction behaviors such as restlessness, discomfort, and fatigue. Dentistry perfusion related to decreased oxygenation of myocardium as evidenced by chest pain, shortness of breath, and tachycardia. Then decreased cardiac output related to negative inotropic changes in the heart secondary to decreased oxygenation of myocardium as evidenced by chest pain, tachycardia, and fatigue. Incurred gas exchange related to decreased cardiac output as evidenced by dyspnea, pallor, and fatigue. Then risk for bleeding related to coagulopathy is associated with a thrombolytic therapy or arterial puncture after angiography. Thank you.